One of the best example of Rahu Hasta's creative intellectuality is Isaac Newton. Sir Isaac Newton has Rahu in Hasta Nakshatra. 300 years ago, a scientist, Isaac Newton, discovered gravity. You have heard that an apple fell down while Newton was sitting in a garden. He wondered why things fell downward and never upward. Why? Why downward? If you throw a stone, it will come down again. Everything does. Why? What is the secret behind it? He thought and searched and eventually discovered the theory of gravitation. That the earth pulls everything to itself. It has a special power which pulls everything down. Today's science virtually is based on the foundation of his discovery. The theory of gravity became the basis of modern science. But it is necessary to remember that nothing exists in life without its opposite. There was a great poet, a wise man, and he asked Newton, Mr. Newton, it's true that the apple fell from the tree and down onto the earth. But I want to ask you one thing. Tell me, how did it get up there in the first place? Certain trees of apple grow 120 feet high. Water reaches up to the topmost leaves even when the trees are 120 feet tall. Something raises the water that high. What is it? It is called levitation. Scientists have already started working on researching levitation. Gravitation is what pulls you down towards the earth. Levitation is something that pulls you upwards from the earth. There is nothing in this world that doesn't exist without its opposite. Life and death, day and night, sadness and happiness, childhood and old age. The opposite always exists. In fact, electricity is also generated when the positive and negative come together. The tree that grows on the outside also grows beneath the ground. That's its balance. That's how life is meant to be, balanced. Sadness gives depth. Happiness gives height. Sadness gives roots. Happiness gives branches. Happiness is like a tree going into the sky, and sadness is like the roots going down into the womb of the earth. Both are needed, and the higher a tree goes, the deeper it goes simultaneously. The bigger the tree, the bigger will be its roots. In fact, it is always in proportion. That's its balance. And that is how life is ought to be, balanced. Since Virgo rules the 6th house of the Kalapurush Kundali, all the factors of the 6th house, such as resolving or creating disputes, fights in courts, problems from secret enemies, getting entangled in daily course of life, becoming a victim or exploiting others, all of these come into picture when Rahu falls in Hasta Nakshatra. Too much of thinking, analyzing, and too much of applying logic sometimes drags the native into depression or frustration. So the first lesson is to avoid too much of thinking. Get out of your head and get into your heart. Think less, feel more. That is the advice to all Hasta Rahu natives.